Hello everyone and welcome back to another round of the Virtual Drift Championship, now powered by Next Level Racing and sponsored by Tire Stacks and Grip Royal. My name is Craig. With me as always is Tanner. What's going on, dude?
Oh, not a whole lot. Craig sat through an amazing qualifying session, got to see some crazy runs, and right at the last second, we had T-Con come in and pull off a 95.3 and snatch that lead away from, I believe it was Mustafa for the longest time over qualifying.
Yeah, it's actually Abdul Al-Shetwi and then Alan Hines really high up there in that qualifying as well. If you're just now joining us, we'll pull up this line map. Start of the run starting at the top of your screen with that small decel zone after entry and picking up throttle quickly and staying fully committed through turn 1 and clip 2, 3, and then 4 at the top of the hill, transitioning across the track for your biggest decel of this course, picking up throttle right where that wall ride starts for clip 5, and you go down that hill following the wall all the way around, transition once more across the track for clip 6, and your last and final decel zone, picking up that throttle right where that zone starts, and then back down to the inside for clip 7, and then finishing wide on the outside of that track. We'll go to our top 32 bracket there. As you can see, T-Con Pileski and Brian Garcia are going to start things out for us in this super exciting round we have in front of us here at Sturup Raceway.
I mean, as we were talking off air there, we were talking about how close this championship is. We're almost halfway through it, and it's just so close. It's still anyone's game, and every round matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And the standings getting shuffled around a bit, and another chance for that to happen again today, the way the bracket is playing out. See if I can hear those cars coming to the line. Yep, there they come.
There they are. I was just going to say, I can hear them firing them up and starting to head over to the line. In case this does confuse some people, our lead lane is on the opposite side from what it normally is. Normally you would pull to the left, but it is the right now for the lead lane for this course. And in that lead lane is T-Con Pileski in that S14 with the wonderful lights, the green lights. Beside him, Brian Garcia in the Aston Martin, ready to duke it out for our first battle of the Virtual Drift Championships round 3 here at the Sturup Raceway. The lights go solid and away they go for this first battle. T-Con Pileski heading down that straight and initiating in. Good initiation, kind of leaving Garcia at the line. Garcia really having to work to catch back up to the door of T-Con. T-Con filling that zone at clip 4 beautifully. Now it comes into the wall ride. T-Con gets right up onto that wall, but now Brian is starting to regain that proximity that he lost at the beginning and starting to catch back up to the door of T-Con as T-Con comes through that final inner clip and passes through the line.
Yeah, what a way to start things out. As I check on this replay, I'm not sure we're going to get a replay of that run, unfortunately. Having a bit of issue, but man, what a start from T-Con Pileski, getting a huge advantage off the run up there and leaving Brian behind. But Brian did a good job to catch up that last and final transition on T-Con Pileski there, doing a really good job to close that gap in once more and then finish the run out strong.
Yeah, I think once he figured out that, I slept a little bit at the line, we need to get the power down. And as I said during qualifying, Brian's car is super fast around this place. So it'll be a good battle as we have them switched up and ready to go. Brian Garcia initiating in, but T-Con right there on his door already off of the initiation, leaving just enough room here for the transition as they swap around and go onto the wall. T-Con giving Brian no breathing room whatsoever. One last transition, one last wall ride. Brian goes into the wall a little bit, starting to straighten him up, but T-Con just helps him out with a little push there right before they cross that finish line.
Yeah, Brian might have actually had a chance there in that second half of the battle here. Brian out front, T-Con giving chase and entering in. T-Con a little bit on the inside there. Brian on a really good outside line through turn 1, filling that outside zone at the top of the hill. A little bit of gap established there. coming into that outside zone. Ticon reels him back in a little bit and then again falls back. But there we see Brian Garcia into the wall just a little bit. It does push him out a bit wide for that inside clip. But overall, a good battle between these drivers will go to the judges. Ticon Pileski on the left or Brian Garcia on the right. Or could we see him maybe go one more time? It's going to be tough with that wall ride. And there it is. Ticon Pileski does get the win and move on into that top 16.
Go. Next up, we're going to have Shoma Takaya in that beautiful 180SX, that S13 of his, up against Carol Hildebrand in his S15. Shoma came out swinging in qualifying and really laid it down on this course. And that's so great. I love to see Shoma really showing why he's here. And I mean, Carol still doing a good job. Even though these guys, they qualified low, that's still only in like an 87 points. So here they go. Shoma out the lead. Great getaway from Shoma. Shoma really drag racing. Carol almost sleeping at the line and fighting to have to catch back up to Shoma, and it hits Shoma in the front fender a little bit, but Shoma keeps it together as they make the transition for the second wall ride. And now the proximity's been regained from Carol, but at what cost to his run?
Yeah, it was unfortunate to see that tap there in that outside zone coming down the hill. Here we go. Shoma Takaya leading Carol Hildebrand. Huge gap established in this first turn here. Shoma Takaya way out front. Carol doing everything he can to reel him back in. He does so right here, but then as we come down the hill, there's that tap up front. Shoma does a good job to keep things going. There they are, settling into that last and final outside zone across that inside clip, and finishing out the first half of their battle.
Well, now we'll get to see the second half of this battle and see if Carol can maybe pull the run together a little bit, or if the pressure from Shoma is going to be just too much for him to handle as they get off the line clean, and a lot of smoke already as Carol initiates in. Shoma right there with him, but a good initiation and good angle from Carol out front. But Shoma's already getting all over the door, Carol, as they transition to come down for that wall ride. Ooh, but Shoma goes into the front fender of Carol too, doing almost the exact same thing that Carol did to Shoma as they come into the wall ride, but now all bent out of shape as Carol bouncing off of that wall of clip 6, and they finish out that run.
Yeah, scrappy to say the least. We'll go back to the replay here between these two. Carol out front leading Shoma Takaya this time through the course. Good initiation. Shoma giving up a bit of line there on the inside in that chase position, but then tucks back into the pocket. Both of them filling that zone. Nice transition across, and there you see Shoma coming in with a lot less angle, but Carol losing quite a bit of speed. It's really going to come down to who is at fault for that contact there, as that really upset the run. We'll go to these judges here. Left for Shoma Takaya, right for Carol Hildebrand, or again, could we see him one more time with both having very similar mistakes?
That, or I think they are going to look at the braking zone there for sure and make sure that no one kind of just slowed up too much.
Yeah, he really did in a way put on the anchors there. He did get hit before the decel zone ended, but with a decel zone being there, it doesn't mean that a driver can just slam on the brakes and lose a ton of momentum. But there it is. They don't think he lose too much speed, and Chris and Matt go right for Carol, and one more time from Ed. So we'll see Carol later on in that top 16.
Oh, good showing there from Carol to get that win over Shoma to go face Ticon Pileski in the top 16. As we have our next pairing coming to the line now, Alexander Element will be in our lead position in that beautiful Ferrari. Beside him, Yasser Saad in his S14. Both these guys can qualify super well, and they can battle even harder, so it'll be great to see what they can do against each other. The lights go solid, and off they go for their run. Element kind of taking a while to get off the line there. Not as quick as some of the other drivers, but good on the initiation. Right beside him, though. Whoa, Yasir having to almost get on the brakes to stop from hitting Alexander Element as they transition down into clip 5 to get on that wall. Yasir leaving a little bit of room for the wall ride as they come off of it and transition into clip 6, which is the second wall ride. And right there, Yasir getting right on the door of Alexander Element, almost pushing him through the inside clip as they finish out the run.
Yeah, really good way to start this battle between these two drivers here. Alexander out front and Yasir giving chase. They enter in nicely. Alexander a little bit out front. You see Yasir cut a bit of line and then right up into the pocket of that Ferrari. Nice transition across. Picks up throttle when he needs to out front. And then Yasir tucking into that pocket. Gives enough room for the transition. Sets in with even more angle than Alexander did out front. They keep things going, and overall both good on both drivers, but I think that lead was very near perfect.
Well, now it'll be Yasir's turn to see if he can keep up the momentum. That's really funny when I actually think about the wording I use there, because Alexander Element's screen name is Momentum, I think. I can't remember. Anyways, off to the battle. Here we go. Yasir out front, and right away Alexander Element is on the attack as they transition into clip 5, and Yasir doing a great job out front, putting the car where it needs to be, but that is giving Alexander Element the tools he needs to really get up onto the door and keep that proximity. A little bit of a wall tap there for Yasir off the edge, but Alexander sticks right with him.
Yeah, both again doing a very nice job. Yasir giving that last wall ride just a bit of a tap there. As we go back to this replay, him out front, Alexander chasing him down. Very nice line through the first turn. Alexander tucked back in that pocket where he needs to be. Great transition across. Both picking up throttle when they need to. Super deep along that wall ride there. And another good transition. There's that little wall tap from Yasir out front. But again, Alexander right there with him through the entirety of that course. And we'll go to the judges. Alexander on the left and Yasir on the right. Ed going left, Matt going left, and Alexander Element is going to get the unanimous win over Yasir San and move on into that top 16.
Well, 3 battles down already, and now we're up to Darius Ostreka and Logan Daniels. Darius in the BMW in the lead lane, and Logan Daniels in that really interesting wide-bodied S15 in the chase position. As the lights start to flash and solid they go, this run gets underway. Darius Ostreka off to a good start with a good initiation, but right beside him is Logan Daniels as they come through outer zone 2 and through the inside clip. Logan is putting on a lot of pressure, having to almost back out of it though for the transition and leave more room as they come through that wall ride at clip 5. Logan's starting to reapply that pressure of the little bit of a proximity that he lost between the inside clip and clip 4. But now right on the door of Darius is Logan as they come across that finish line.
Yeah, another great start to a top 32 battle here. And we go back to this replay with Darius Ostreka out front in his BMW. Logan right there with him through turn 1, sacrificing just a little bit of angle there to stick with him. Falls back here at the top of the hill, but then does a good job to reel him back in for the next outside zone. Starts that transition a little early is Logan Daniels in that chase position. Darius again doing a fantastic job out front in that lead position. And we switch them around and go to the second half of their battle.
And at the line they are, and the light has already gone solid. Logan Daniels in that lead position. Darius Ostreka in the chase. Initiating in is Logan, but right with him and beside him is Darius Ostreka as they come through outer zone 2 and into that first inside clip. Let's see, a lot closer is Ostreka to Daniels as they come into clip 5. Clip 5 rolling around that outside wall run. Darius really applying the pressure, leaving almost no room on that transition and just sticking right with Logan Daniels all the way to the finish.
Oh man, here we go back to the replay of the second half of their battle. Logan out front this time and certainly being chased down by Darius Ostreka, doing a fantastic job in this chase position here. Again, Logan doing a really good job out front. Darius falls back just a little bit coming around that inside clip, but much closer than what Logan was in his chase position. Very smooth through that outside zone, sets in nicely to the final one, and Darius sacrificing just a little bit of line, but stays with Logan as they cross that finish line. We'll go to these judges once more. Darius on the left this time, Logan on the right, and quickly, unanimous decision. Darius Elstreka gets the win, and he'll move on into that top 16. Quickly through I believe that's the first group of top 32, loading in the next 8 drivers, the next 4 battles. Take a look at that top 32 bracket. Some of it hasn't been filled in quite yet here. But that next battle, Alan Hines and Cormac Guard, will be up next. There's Alan Hines coming on up to that line. Again, he'll face off against fellow Irish driver Cormac, a wild card driver as well.
Yeah, the Battle of the Irish getting underway. Alan Hines in his Pro Drift Academy S15 against Cormac Guard in, that's an S14 sitting there. They wait for those lights to go solid, and solid they go. A good getaway there from Alan Hines, but Cormac right behind him initiating in. Is Alan Hines already gapping Cormac off of the start? Wow, the speed from Alan Hines on this. They come through that inside clip. Cormac is trying to regain the proximity, but it just can't seem to get it done as they come through clip 5. Now Cormac's starting to maybe get some pressure down as they transition into clip 6, riding one more wall, and now onto the door comes Cormac. That was a long way to go around that course before he managed to regain that proximity.
Yeah, it sure was. Tough fight from Cormac as we go back to this replay. And you see Alan get off to a really good start here. Snappy initiation and keeps the momentum going and holds on to that gap for a long time through this course. Very smooth throughout as well, doing exactly what he needs to in that lead position. And there we see Cormac starting to regain that position in the chase. Right up in that pocket there around that inside clip. And there they go across that finish line.
Now we have them back around at the front. Cormac in the lead position and Alan Hines ready to chase him down. The lights go solid and off they go. Down the straightaway already. Alan Hines all over the bumper as they initiate in and way closer in proximity as Cormac tries to get as much angle as he can out of that car. But right beside him is Alan Hines. They make the transition down into clip 5 on that wall ride. Alan Hines sticking right with them as Cormac tries to put the car as close as he can to the wall. One last transition onto another wall ride. But look at Alan Hines just sticking right beside him on the door the whole way around that course.
Yeah, he sure did, and I think he's going to get the win here as we go back to this replay. Cormac out front this time with Alan giving chase and super aggressive here on that run up and then jumping right into the pocket where he needs to be in that chase position. Cormac doing a really good job out front though, doing everything he needs to so far through this replay as they set into this outside zone down the hill and along that wall. Alan's right there with him the whole time, making a nice and smooth transition as both those drivers, Alan again right there, Cormac going just a little wide, and there they go across that finish line. And we will go to the judges. Alan on the left and Cormac on the right. And there they go. Unanimous decision for Alan Hines. Super fast out of the gate that time and just left Cormac behind in that lead position.
Yeah, well, I mean, Alan Hines is quick around here, and that just kind of showed how fast you have to be off that line and be ready to go no matter who your opponent might be. As for our next opponents, we have Robert Kowinski in the lead position up against Kazuki Fukushi in that Toyota Celica, right beside him, ready to give chase. Robert is a great driver, but Kazuki knows how to throw down as they initiate in. Robert doing a good job on his line so far, but Kazuki is right there on him as they come through that inside clip. Kazuki's almost pushing him out to that fourth clipping point as they, a big little upset and bobble there from Kazuki in the chase position as Robert makes the transition onto the second wall ride. Kazuki just trying to keep it on his door and keep the proximity as they come across that finish line.
Yeah, really smooth lead out front from Robert as we go back to this replay here. Kazuki giving chase and getting caught up a couple of times here. They enter in, sacrificing just a little bit of line there in that chase position. Really smooth out front is Robert. Does sacrifice a little bit of that outside zone, but Kazuki in that chase. This is the second mishap here in his chase run. Just super inside there for that outside zone. Robert doing a fantastic job out front in the last one, and there they go, finishing out the first half of their battle.
And here we go, they're back at the start line, ready to go again. Kazuki now going to give his hand in the lead position with Robert chasing him down in the chase lane as they initiate in. Good job from Kazuki already, a lot of speed, but Robert getting right up on the door as they come through. Robert hits the side of Kazuki and backs right out of it. Kazuki kind of stays in it, but I think that's going to be a run ender right there. I don't think they're going to continue after that. Well, they will virtually, but you know.
Yeah, I think sort of like you said, the run is somewhat over there at that point as the run gets zeroed out. We'll take a look at it on the replay because it's interesting. It almost looks like Kazuki maybe clutches in after outside two. Maybe not. It's a tough one there. Because at the same time, it looked like Robert was maybe washing out up front. Maybe let it play once more. We watch the rest of their run here. What we're looking for as it replays is a change of momentum. We want drivers to be on throttle and just zoom in through this first turn. Oh, it's tough. Right on the camera change there. We'll let the judges break it down. They can also rewind YouTube, watch it like quarter speed and stuff like that, and make sure that they're getting the right call here, because that is a tough one between those two drivers and who's going to be at fault there. We'll pull up the judges graphic here. Robert on the left, Kazuki on the right. And look at there, Kazuki is going to get the win. Robert getting fault for that contact coming up the hill. And Kazuki will move on into that top 16.
Yeah, I mean, even watching the replay from my end, it just looks like his car just all of a sudden loses all momentum and grips up, and he just kind of goats into the side of Fukushi there.
Yeah, that like the front was starting to wash out on him. Yeah, super unfortunate for battles to go down like that and, have to be decided that way.
Well, off of that, let's move to another battle. Mustafa Amine in the lead lane, getting chased down by Masashi Yoshida. In the chase position in the R33, S15 versus R33. The lights go solid and off they go. Mustafa out front, sleeping a little bit at the line was Yoshida as they come in through the initiation, and there's a huge gap established. Yoshida is going to have to do some work here to get back up onto the door of Mustafa as they initiate in to clip 5, that wall ride. And there we go. Now, after sacrificing some line and angle, Yoshida has caught back up to Mustafa. Mustafa's putting on an amazing lead run here, but now we see Yoshida right on the door at the finish there.
Yeah, Mustafa getting out to an incredible start here. And as you said, Musashi just kind of sleeping at the line there, maybe in the wrong gear or something, and just gets left behind. And Mustafa continues on with a fantastic lead run out front, following that line the way he should, picks up throttle when he should as well for this outside zone. There we see Musashi reeling back in, get into the pocket, transition along that bumper, and stay with him through the remainder of that course. But Mustafa going into the second half here with the advantage.
Well, let's see how it goes now that the positions are changed around. Yoshida in the lead position and Mustafa ready to chase him down. The lights go on and solid, and off they go. Right away, already over him is Mustafa as they initiate in. Mustafa already making that push through outer zone 1 and outer zone 2 coming through that inside clip. Right, Mustafa is all over the door of Yoshida. Yoshida doing a good job putting the car where it needs to go, but Mustafa is taking every advantage of that. With every transition, Mustafa just gets closer and closer to Yoshida as they come through that final inside clip and cross the line.
Yeah, really good job from Mustafa in that chase position, but the lead out front from Musashi, really good, pouring on a ton of angle in places, but hanging on to that momentum. So we see him go through this turn 1 here. Musashi starts to pour it on for this outside zone, hangs on, transitions across, picks up throttle, very little correction out front, stays along that wall as well. And another good transition, leaving Mustafa behind just a little bit, but Mustafa reeling him back in quickly. And there they go across that finish line. And we will go to the judges. Mustafa on the left, Musashi on the right. And unanimous decision, Mustafa will move on into that top 16. We've got our next battle at the line.
Yes, we do. Our next battle here, Darren Baker in the GTR in the lead lane up against Brandon Patrick in that Ferrari. Wait for those wonderful lights to ignite. Tell these drivers they can start the battle. There we go. The lights flash and they go solid. Darren is off, but it looks like Brandon Patrick has slept at the line. Darren's going to go for it, which is definitely a thing. It was a legitimate start. So Brandon Patrick's going to have to get on that throttle and get going as Darren transitions into clip 5 now and putting on one solid lead run here. This is going to give all the advantage to Darren to move on in the next battle.
Yeah, very, very interesting there. As I was trying to hear over Discord if there was going to be any type of restart or anything. Again, just listening over, I think it is going to be a restart. We'll go back live here with them pulling back up to the line. And yep, we are going to get a restart.
All right, so a restart it is. So, lights go solid, and let's try this again. This time, Brandon Patrick isn't asleep at the line. Initiating in alongside the door of Darren Baker. Darren Baker out front in that GTR. Coming through that inside clip and pushing way out wide to that clip 4. Looking good so far. Brandon Patrick is really putting that Ferrari on the door of that Nissan GTR of Darren Baker. They make one final transition to the final wall ride, and Brandon Patrick is just all over the door of Darren through to the finish.
Yeah, it's good to have a good battle between these two here as we go back to the replay. Darren out front with Brandon chasing him down this time and staying with him very nicely through turn 1 here as they come up this hill around that inside clip, filling the next outside zone. Brandon starts his transition a bit early there, but falls into the line anyway. Darren out front in that GTR gaining a little bit of ground there. But Brandon reeling him back in, and there they go across that finish line.
Well, now back around at the start, Brandon Patrick is going to put on his best in the lead position while he gets chased down by Darren Baker. Could we see our first one more time of the day as they initiate in? Darren Baker starts to get up onto the door, going a little wide, but keeping control of that GTR. Brandon Patrick out front is doing a great job so far, especially on this transition into the wall ride. That looked like that could have been contact, but he keeps it together as they transition into the final wall ride, and Darren Baker is just again all over the door of Brandon Patrick. So this is going to be a really close one for the judges to decide.
Yeah, it sure will. As we go back to the replay, and I would have put money on that Brandon was going to go into that wall after that transition, but he picks up throttle, stays off of it, and kept it going. Enters in with a ton of momentum, almost going too wide, but hangs on to that track edge. Darren right there with him in the GTR. Great transition, and then picks up throttle. Small angle correction once he does, but keeps it going. Stays along that outside, settles in nicely to the last and final outside zone as well. But Darren right there with him, almost pushing him across that finish line. And we will go to these judges. Darren on the left, Brandon Patrick on the right. Or could we see him go once more? And unanimous decision, Brandon Patrick is actually going to get the win and move on into that top 16 over Darren Baker.
And that's kind of crazy to think about, considering Darren Baker has gone so far in the past two competitions and now getting knocked out in the top 32.
Yeah, doing exceptionally well round one, and then again round two as well. But unfortunately getting taken out here in the top 32.
I think that did it for group two of the top 32.
Yeah, it sure is. Group two done. We're loading in the next group of 8 drivers, so our next 4 battles. Follow along on the bracket. We know Challenge has had its bit of issues today. Hopefully that will get better as we move along through this bracket.
Well, so far it's been good for me. It's been staying up and wanting to cooperate. So hopefully it cooperates for everybody else.
Yeah, it seems to be mixed reviews right now on whether it's working for them or not. Can bring it up on my side. We're just missing one of those battles, Alexander Element and Yasir. And there it goes. It did update for us as I said that. And
It knew you were talking about
it. Yeah. Oh shit, we and Rabina up next. This will be a super exciting battle coming up.
Waiting for Al Shetwi to join the server.
Just getting the drivers organized here and making sure everybody is in before we start sending drivers, because you know, if a driver joins in the middle of a battle, it could cause a little lag spike, and we don't want that to happen.
Want all the battles to be fair and even for everybody, so anything we can do to help reduce that lag or any potential gremlins is the best we can do. We're already halfway through the top 32. I just noticed that. This is going by so fast today.
Absolutely. Moving on along, keeping the event going. And it's yeah, again, we're only in the top 32, and these battles have been insane. Like the last battle we just watched with Darren and Brandon against each other, just door to door throughout the whole entire run between the both of them, lead and chase. But here we go. We've got drivers on the line and ready to go.
We sure do. We have Shetwi in the lead position in that S15, and beside him in the BMW, that is going to be Christoph Rapina. Kristoff is a good driver, but so is Alshetwi. He does some good driving. So, who will it be out of these two? Who will be moving on to the top 16? Wait for that light to ignite. Waiting for one more person to fully join in. There we go. And the lights go solid, and off they go. So out front, Abdul Alshetwi up against Kristoff Rapina. Initiating in. Good job on the initiation, but Rapina right there on the door of Alshetwi as they come through clip 4 and transition into clip 5. Big push there from the chase driver of Rapina. Alshetwi doing a great job out front, not making many mistakes. As we can just see, though, the aggression being put on a little bit wider onto the wall. Actually went Rapina through into that final inside clip before they finished the line.
Yeah, he sure did. Here we go with this replay. Alshetwi out front, being chased down by Kristoff Rapina. Very smooth initiation by both of them. Very good line out front, easy to chase. Rapina right there with him, making that transition and jumping back into the pocket of Alshetwi out front. Looking good through that outside zone. Fantastic transition once more, and as you pointed out, just super deep back there is Kristoff, and he has to make up that gap just a little bit.
Yeah, Kristoff just kind of showing the judges there, like, hey, we could have went this much deeper into this wall, you know? So that's a good push there. As we switch them around now, Kristoff Rapina out front in the lead position with Abdul Alshetwi giving chase. Off they go, and Alshetwi already trying to get onto that door of Rapina as he does right off the initiation, having to back out of it just a little bit as it looked like a big, maybe some contact and some wobbling as Rapina transitions into clip 5 now, but Alshetwi is not giving him any room for error, putting it right on the door as they transition into clip 6, and Rapina bounces off the wall, but it doesn't upset Alshetwi, and he keeps it on the door of Rapina through to the finish line.
Yeah, what a change there as we go back to this replay. Rapina going a little bit too deep for that last and final outside zone and getting the wall. And look at that. Alshetwi just entering in right onto the door. Does have to back off a little bit there, but reels him right back in. Jumps back onto the door for outside zone 4 as they come down this hill and along the wall. Last and final transition, and there you see Kristoff go a little bit too deep, catch the wall, have to correct, and there they go across that finish line with Abdul right there with him. We'll go to these judges. Left for Alshetwi or right for Rapina? Who's going to get the win and move on into that top 16? And there it is, unanimous. Abdul Alshetwi gets the win and moves on into the top 16, where he'll have to face off against the winner of our next battle coming right up.
And our next battle is going to be a good one. Zach O'Sullivan in the JZ A80 Supra up against Austin Zaleski in the JZ A90 Supra. We get to see all the Supras. But Zach O'Sullivan been on a hard charge the last 2 rounds to really try and get up there and maybe win himself this championship. So let's see if Austin maybe bring an end to that little bit of a charge that Zach has been putting on. As the lights go solid and off they go. Zach in the lead lane, Austin giving chase. Zach initiates in, Austin with a little bit of gap off of the initiation, but slowly reeling him in is Austin as he starts to put it on the door of Zach O'Sullivan Supra, and it transitioning now over to clip 5, that wall ride. Austin is really putting on that pressure onto Zach O'Sullivan, not leaving enough room for that transition, but it doesn't upset Zach O'Sullivan. Zach stays on line, but Austin right there behind him with little to no breathing room.
Yeah, really interesting what happened there in that last final transition here as we go back to this replay. Zach out front being chased down by Austin. Austin sacrificing just a little bit of line there to stick with Zach, who was super fast through turn 1. Very nice into outside zone 3 and down into 4. Quickly around that wall ride with Austin right there with him. And yeah, it looks like Austin may have caught that rear bumper of Zach out front, but Zach doing a fantastic job to keep things going, and we'll go to the second half of their battle.
They are already at the line and ready to go. Austin out front, Zach O'Sullivan ready to give chase. The lights turn on and solid they go. This is the start to the second half of their battle. Let's see what Austin can do in that lead position. Initiating in is Austin, but Zach putting on that pressure early, coming down into that inside clip. Zach leaving a little bit more room there for the transition as they come into clip 5. This wall ride that is clip 5. Zach really just kind of keeping it safe, not really getting too close up to the door, but this is probably where we'll see the push if there is one. And look at that, wheel to wheel as they cross that line.
Yeah, overall, fantastic job by both of these drivers as we go back to the second half of their battle and their replay here. Austin out front, Zach in chase, again sacrificing just a little bit of line there in that chase position, and then falls into the pocket. Austin doing a good job out front, Zach right on the bumper as they make that transition, and then falls into line nicely through this outside zone. Gives up a bit of room there for that last and final transition, and then right back onto the door of Austin as they go across that finish line. We will go to those judges. Zach on the left, Austin on the right. And again, unanimous decision. All three judges going for Zach O'Sullivan. He'll move on to face Al Shetwi in the top 16.
That'll be a fun battle.
Absolutely. And our last season's winner here at Sturup Raceway, Ericos at the line.
Yeah, another driver who has just done really well this season is Ericos. Really taking advantage of anything that's been thrown at him. So here we go. Ericos in the lead position, just getting chased down by Vaqueros Alicas. We'll see how these two do, both in BMWs and transitioning in. Ericos out front, but right on his door already is Vaqueros, sticking right with them as they come through clip 4. Not that deep into clip 4 was Ericos, but look at that angle that the chase driver's putting on, and just sticking with Ericos as they come through to clip 6. Not putting on a lot, but there's going to be the jump. Putting it on the door is Vaqueros as they come across that line.
Yeah, another good start to a top 32 battle here as we go back to the replay with Ericos out front being chased down by Vaqueros and his BMW. Entering in nicely as both of these drivers right on the door is Vaqueros as they come up this hill and into outside zone 3. Nice transition across, even more angle in that chase position, and reels him back in anyway through that outside zone. Another nice transition, good lead out front, but Ericos leaving that outside zone just a little early there, and there they go across that finish line.
And now they're back around at the start line, ready to do battle one more time. Vaqueros out front and Ericos giving chase. Ericos already all over the back bumper, and there it is, right on the door is Ericos onto Vaqueros, almost pushing him through that clip as we see him come down into clip 4. There is no room for breathing as they transition into the wall. They both kind of make a mistake, but they keep it together as Ericos is just applying every ounce of pressure available to him as they come through clip 6, down into the final inside clip and across that finish line.
Wow, these drivers going at it here. We'll go back to this replay with Vaqueros out front this time, and Ericos chasing him down. Ericos right on the bumper as they enter in, and then onto the door quickly. Sticking with him through turn 1, coming up the hill on a perfect line. Filling that next outside zone. Very smooth into that zone down the hill, but Ericos sacrificing a little bit of line on the inside, just a little bit. Really good by Vaqueros out front to fill that zone, and Ericos right there with him as they cross that finish line. We will go to the judges. Ericos on the left, Vaqueros on the right. Or another chance at a one more time here. One more time from Chris, but Ed and Matt choose Vaqueros. Vaqueros gets the win and moves on here into the top 16.
Well, the surprises keep coming today. A very good job indeed, and a well-earned victory there from Bakaris Alakas to move on to the top 16. As we have our next battle coming up to the lines, we can just see the drivers heating up their tires. In the lead position in his Toyota Supra is going to be Oliver Eppinger. Beside him in the chase position, Connor Christensen in his S14. We wait for those lights to go out and see how these two will get on with their battle and who will move on to face Vicaris in the top 16. Light goes solid and off they go. Oliver out front. Connor giving chase as they initiate in. Wow, really far inside was Oliver, but holding the line perfectly was Connor behind as they transition down into clip 5. Looking at this huge push, but it was too much from Connor in the chase position, and he goes into the wall, and that will effectively end this run. Oliver has to finish it out, and that'll be advantage to Oliver.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunate to see as well, Connor in that chase position, catching the wall, straightening out, and having to reinitiate. But Oliver Eppinger out front in his Supra makes a small angle correction there in that turn 1. But after that, just on a really good lead line, snappy transition here, picks up throttle super early and keeps it going in that zone. And there you see Connor get into the wall. Does a good job to drive out of it and keep the run going, but as you pointed out, it will be a 0 for him in that chase position.
Sadly, it's just things that happen, but I mean, looking, as soon as I saw that dive from Connor, I was like, oh no, that's deep. Hit that wall. But now they're back at the start line and ready to go again. Connor Christensen in the lead lane, and Oliver Eppinger ready to give chase. The lights go out and off they go. Down the straightaway and initiating in is Connor, and right behind him is Oliver. Oliver's starting to make that push and gain that proximity right off of the first 3 clips, going down into outside zone 3, transitioning into clip 5. Oliver's just doing exactly what he needs to do and keep that car within the pocket of Connor Christensen as they come through the final wall ride. Really, Oliver's just done everything he needs to do. And I think that's going to solidify the win for Oliver.
Yeah, I think so as well. Even a little more there in that chase position. Pushing hard anyway is Oliver as we go back to this replay here. Nice initiation by both of them. Connor doing a good job out front. Does sacrifice a little bit of room for that outside zone too, but fills the next one at the top of the hill. Good transition across. Picks up throttle when he needs to, fills that zone as well, but Oliver again right there with him doing what he needs to do in that chase position. And then even a little extra here as he's almost pushing Connor across that finish line. And we'll go to these judges, Oliver on the left, Connor on the right. But I think Oliver is going to get it with that mistake from Connor in that chase position going into the wall and straightening out. And there we go, Oliver gets the win. And he'll move on to face Vicaris in that top 16.
Sure will. And now we're getting down to the last few battles of the top 32. There's only 4 battles left, which is just crazy how fast we've gone through this top 32.
Yeah, absolutely. Just moving on along here. And with crazy battles already. Again, this is just top 32, and we have seen door-to-door action throughout the entirety of this top 32. We'll pull up that bracket if you aren't following along on your own. We've got Alexander Shivruk and Dimitri Mitten coming up next. Yarko Tresh and Pontus, Kale Fonseca and Abdulaziz Al-Harbi, Alexander Yegard and Victor Alves to round out the top 32 here at Sturup Raceway.
Only so many spots remain before we get into the top 16 battles, where that's where the real fire kind of kicks on. Top 32 is just to progress, and then now it's, hey, we might be fighting for a podium here. So it'll be really interesting. Maybe we'll get a couple one more times. Here comes Alexander Shivruk now. There is Dimitri Mitten. Alexander in the Ferrari. Alexander in that Toyota Supra.
Dimitri in the Supra. I think we're waiting on just one more driver to connect as well, so we don't have any lag spikes during these guys' run. Be super
My apologies,
unfortunate.
Dimitri. It looks like everybody's here.
Yeah, everybody is here and ready to go.
Oh. Somebody did leave. Well,
Here we go.
here we go. Alexander Sturup out front and Dimitri Mitten giving chase. Initiating in is Alexander, but right beside him is Dimitri, and that looks to be smaller Supra compared to the big body of the Ferrari as they come through down into clip 4. Dimitri's doing a good job of just keeping that proximity. A little hiccup there from the lead driver as they come around clip 5, but that doesn't upset the chase as they come down into clip 6 now, and Dimitri just putting it on the door of that Ferrari. A little tap there as they came out of the inside clip, but they finish out the run.
Yeah, they sure did. And here we go back to the replay with Alexander out front and Dimitri chasing him down. And as you pointed out, making the Supra look really small here in that chase position. But flying through the course is both of these drivers. Dimitri doing a really good job sticking with that Ferrari, reels him back in there, falls back off, reels him back in through that outside zone. Does make a small mistake there in that chase position. It just gets caught up in that transition and then on an inside line for that outside zone. But overall, good start to their battle here.
Good start indeed, but now we'll see how it ends and who moves on to take one of the 4 spots remaining left in the top 16. Dimitri Mitten out front getting chased down now by Alexander Sturup as they initiate in. Good initiation from Dimitri, but right on him is Alexander Sturup as they come through down into clip 4, make the transition for clip 5. Rubbing the wheel on his door is Alexander Sturup as they come through clip 5, leaving a bit more room now for that transition. But the lead run here from Mitten isn't too bad, but that proximity from the big Ferrari is all over that Supra.
Yeah, it sure was. Like he had a magnet on his car there. As we go back to the replay here, Dimitri out front and being chased down by the big Ferrari, entering in nicely. Alexander right where he needs to be in that chase position. Dimitri on a really good lead line out front. Nice transition across, but there, Alexander right on the door, putting his tire along it. And almost gets caught up, very similar to Dimitri in that chase position on that last and final transition. And there they go across the finish line for the second half of their battle. And we will go to the judges. Alexander on the left or right for Dimitri. And unanimous decision from all 3 judges there, Chris, Ed, and Matt. Alexander gets the win and moves on into the top 16.
Well, a good win and a well-deserved win there from Alexander. As we move on to our next battle, in the lead position is Jaro Tresh, and chasing him down is the Rotary Power Pontus Jakobsen. Here we go, Jaro out front and initiating in. Right behind him is Pontus and starting to make up that proximity as they come through outside zone 2 and down into that inside clip. The Rotary is screaming as Jaro transitions into clip 5, and Pontus is putting it on the door through that wall ride as they transition now down into clip 6. Jaro's on a very good lead run here, and Pontus just doing everything he needs to do by keeping that FD on the door of the S15 of Jaro.
Yeah, another really good start to a top 32 battle. Tresh doing a fantastic job out front in the lead, right on the track edge there. And again, for outside zone 2, Pontus right there in tow, right up along that door. Great transition across the bumper, reels him back in, sacrifices just a little bit of angle and stays with him right up underneath him almost. Nice and final transition there. You pointed out just a little tap from Pontus in that chase position, but Tresh doing a good job to keep things going.
And speaking of keeping things going, let's keep things going by going to the second half of this battle, as we have Pontus Jakobsen out front with Yarrow giving chase now. Jakobsen initiates in, but Yarrow is right up there with them. Good, wow, crazy proximity on the door of Pontus as they come through clip 4 and transition into 5, and into the wall goes Pontus. And that will end this run. Oh, Pontus. Oh, that wall hit.
Yeah, super unfortunate there to see from Pontus, looking so good up until that point. We'll go back to this replay here. Again, Pontus out front, being chased down by Tresh. Enters in nicely, does leave that outside quite a bit there, grabs the outside zone. Again, just on a good line, goes a little bit too wide. And then into the wall hard is Pontus. Thankfully, it's just virtual. No one was hurt. Hopefully. I guess force feedback didn't go wild. Absolutely. We'll go to the judges, but I imagine, yeah, they quickly go to the left. Tresh gets the win, and he'll move on to face Alexander Shavruk in that top 16.
Now we have at the line KO Fonseca in that purple S15 up against Abdulaziz Al-Harbi in his S15 as they initiate in. KO Fonseca doing a good lead job here, but Abdul is trying to keep on that door, but Abdul's really far inside, and that's going to upset him a little bit for this transition into clip 5, hitting the front end of KO, but KO able to keep it together and hold it together, which that was just an insane recovery from KO out front. The fact that he held it together, and Abdul just trying to recover anything that he has left in this run.
Yeah, it really just looked like he was pushing a bit too hard in that chase to make up for the gap that KO Fonseca had established. Really good initiation from Fonseca there in that lead, and as you pointed out, Abdulaziz just on an inside line drops 2 wheels there, I believe, in the inside clip, and then comes in a little bit too fast on Fonseca's front bumper there. Fonseca doing a really good job though to keep the run going, and Abdulaziz right back in the chase position, but I believe Fonseca is going to have the advantage going into the second half of this battle.
That's how it's looking so far, but now we have the second half of this battle. We have Al-Harbi out front getting chased down by KO Fonseca. Al-Harbi's really going to have to lay it all out on this run, but already KO is getting all over the door of Abdulaziz Al-Harbi as they come through and make this transition into the 5th clipping zone. Clipping point. Wow, it's breaking my brain as they transition. KO's all over him, and oh, into the wall goes Al-Harbi, which would effectively end this run and give KO the win.
Yeah, I believe it is as well. We'll go back to the replay here. Abdulaziz actually giving the cone a little bit of bump, but if anything, it put him at a disadvantage. Gets going through this turn 1 with Fonseca right there on the door, fills that next outside zone nicely. Good transition across, super deep along the wall, even giving it a tap there, keeps it going, hangs on to that angle for quite a bit, and then just too deep into that last and final outside zone, ending that run. We'll go to these judges. Fonseca on the left, or Abdulaziz Al-Harbi on the right, and there they go. Fonseca gets the win. He'll move on into the top 16. We've just got one more battle left to go here in the top 32.
Sure do. Alexander Yegard in the lead position, and Victor Alves giving chase. Alexander Yegard in his S14, Victor Alves in the S15. The lights go solid, and off we go. The final battle of the top 32 here, the Virtual Drift Championship, round 3 at Sturup Raceway. Initiating in is Alexander Yegard, but Victor Alves doing a good push here to keep that proximity up until clip 4, transitioning down to the wall ride of clip 5. A little bit of shallowing up from the chase position, but trying to keep that proximity as they transition once more into clip 6, the final wall ride. And now Victor really putting it on the door. Both drivers kind of cutting that inside clip as they cross that finish line.
Yeah, really good start to the last and final top 32 battle here. And Alexander looking really good in this S14. Nice and dialed. Good initiation. Victor right there with him. Flying up the hill here. Actually comes up just a little shallow there for outside zone 3, but nicely into 4. Victor making a small correction there to stay with Alexander out front. Nice transition at the end, right along the bumper. And then sticks with him a bit on the inside is Victor Alves, but a good lead out front from Alexander.
Yeah, now we'll get to see who carries on to face KO Fonseca in the top 16. Will it be Victor Alves out front? Will it be Alexander Yegard giving chase? An initiation there from both drivers looking good. Victor Alves keeping it online, but Alexander Yegard really just keeping that proximity and matching that angle beautifully from Victor Alves. Victor Alves trying to do what he can out front here to put down that perfect lead line. But look at Alexander all over him to that finish line.
Yeah, fantastic way to finish things off here in the top 32. We've got Victor Alves out front, Alexander giving chase. Entering in nicely is both of these drivers. Alexander a bit deeper there in that chase position, but still sticking with Victor Alves out front. Nice transition across, both picking up throttle together and moving through this outside zone down the hill. And one more last transition across. Victor filling that zone all the way along that wall, and Alexander right there with him as they cross that finish line. And we'll go to the judges one last time here in the top 32 before we move on into the top 16. Alexander with his old car there actually on the left, and Victor Alves on the right. And one more time between these two, our last and final battle here in the top 32.
Well, we knew it was going to come eventually. It was just a matter of when. I was like, there's no way we're going to get to the entirety of top 32 without a one more time. And this battle, definitely, I can agree with it. They were very, very close to each other, matching each other's angle nicely. No mistakes.
Yeah, fantastic way to finish things out here in the top 32.
Definitely. So now we have them back at the front of the line. Lights are already going. Alexander Yegard in his S14 out front, giving chases Victor Alves in his S15. Initiating in is Yegard, but right there with him is Victor Alves. Going too wide though is Yegard, but Victor Alves hanging in there and matching up his angle as they transition into outer zone 5 or into clip 5, this wall ride. And Alves doing a good job at just keeping that proximity, almost leaving no room for that transition. No more mistakes now, though, from Yegard out front, and making it so that they can finish door to door and wheel to wheel.
Yeah, they sure did. And Victor kept things going strong in the chase, even after the big mistake out front from Alexander and going a bit too wide here. So you see him enter in, drops some tire there. Victor keeps it going in the chase, almost too wide there for that outside zone as well. And then settling in nicely to this wall ride. Does catch the wall just a little bit, but keeps it going. Victor Alves still right there in chase. And then pushing him across this finish line. And we'll go to the second half of their battle.
And here we go with the second half of that battle. The lights have already ignited, and out they go. Victor Alves out front, Alexander Yegard giving chase as they come down that straightaway and initiate in. Looking good for Victor Alves, but right on him is Alexander Yegard. He knows those mistakes from his lead. He's going to have to do a good showing in the chase position. Victor Alves is doing a good lead line here, though, going into the wall just a little bit, but it doesn't upset him as they transition into this final wall, bouncing off it just a little bit and keeping it together. And Alexander Yegard and him again finish wheel to wheel.
Yeah, they sure do, but I think it's going to come down to the mistake Alexander had in his lead, dropping those tires in the first turn. As we go back to this replay with Victor out front. Good initiation, almost late there, but settles into it nicely. Alexander right there in that chase position, filling the next outside zone as both of them right along the bumper is Alexander in that chase position, grabbing a little bit of wall, is Victor Alves in that lead position, and then again there out front. And here we go across that finish line. We'll go to these judges. Left for Alexander, right for Victor Alves. Who's going to get the win and be the last driver to move on into that top 16? And there it is. Victor Alves gets the win. He moves on, and he'll have to face Kale Fonseca in that top 16. Great showing by these drivers, giving us that one more time battle here in the top 32, or only one more time battle here in the top 32. So again, that is going to round up our top 32. We will take a very small break here in between this top 32 and top 16, and we'll be right back with some more tandem battles. All right, we are back. Thank you for sticking along there through that top 32. Just exciting battles, one after another between these drivers, giving us just one more time this time around, actually, between Alexander Yegard and Victor Alves there, that last and final battle of the top 32. But we're ready here for top 16. Here is our current bracket here. Tikhon Pileski and Carol Hildebrand are going to start us out here in the top 16.
Some great showing from these drivers all day today. I mean, just everything from qualifying up until now has just been absolutely mental. And it goes back to hitting that nail on the head of the driving is at such a high level this year that you can't afford any mistakes. You can't afford any little wall taps, because all of that could ruin your entire battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Just precision driving is required to move on through this bracket and make it into the top 32.
Exactly. But somebody who's considered a robot himself, Tikhon Pileski in that lead lane, ready to duke it out against Carol Hildebrand in that red S15. Initiating in is Tikhon Pileski, and having some issues behind is Carol. Can't really get that car to angle and went way too wide, but Tikhon doing exactly what he does best out front and just putting the car exactly where it needs to go. Carol's made up for his mistakes now and started to regain that proximity as he transitions into that final outer zone, putting it on the door of Tikhon as they come across that finish line.
Yeah, another good start here, this time in the top 16. Tikhon Pileski out front and getting chased by Carol Hildebrand. Tikhon just flying through the run-up, super committed there. Carol, you see him wash out in that chase position, but then doing a good job to try and reel T-Con back in. T-Con picking up throttle when he needs to for this outside zone, and this wall ride sticking all the way out there to the outside, as well as the last and final one. There's Carroll giving T-Con even a little tap there on the door. And we'll go to the second half of their top 16 battle.
Well, back to the front they are, with Carroll in the lead position and T-Con ready to give chase. Here they go. Lights go solid and initiating in. Carroll out front. T-Con giving chase, and good first few clips there from Carroll in that lead position, but T-Con really just putting the car exactly where it needs to be as they come into clip 5 for that wall ride, and doing a great job. And T-Con just again keeping that pressure on him, keeping close, but oh, Carroll goes into the wall at clip 6, and that effectively ends the run for Carroll as T-Con manages to get through clean.
Yeah, super unfortunate to see there. I even threw my hands up when he hit the wall there. Just looking good throughout the run. Does initiate almost a bit late there, but hangs on to the line right on the edge of that turn 1, filling the next outside zone. But T-Con right there with him, does transition maybe a little bit early in that chase position, sort of waiting on Carroll to make that transition. And then right there again on the bumper, and there Hildebrand just goes a little bit too deep in that last and final outside zone, grabs the wall, and we'll go to the judges here. T-Con on the left or Carroll on the right. I believe T-Con is going to get the win here, move on, and he certainly is. Into the top 8 is our first driver, T-Con Pileski. Bringing our next battle to the line. Looked like
Sure.
Element was putting some heat to the tires and then changed his mind there, resetting back to pits.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing to see him do. But we have Alexander Element out front in that red Ferrari, getting chased down by Darius Ostreka in the BMW. Initiating in is Alexander Element, but coming right up to him is Darius through those first 2 outer zones, through the inside clip down to clip 4, transitioning now to clip 5, that wall ride. Darius is doing a good job at keeping that proximity, not too far behind, but not too close as they come down that final outer zone. Now he's going to get on the door of that Ferrari. It almost pushes him through the finish line.
Yeah, and here we go back to the replay. Second battle of the top 16. Alexander Element out front and Darius giving chase. Nice way to set into that turn 1 is Alexander. Has a little bit of gap established, but there right along the bumper is Darius Ostreka in that chase position. Following him along through that wall ride down the hill. Falls back just a little bit here in the last and final transition, but then reels him back in by cutting just a little bit of line there. And there they go across the finish line for the first half.
Now it's time for the second half with Darius Ostreka in the lead lane and Alexander Element ready to give chase. As lights flash and go solid, that means it's the start of this battle. The second half of this battle as they initiate in. Darius Ostreka, good initiation through that first outer zone, but right away all over him is the Ferrari of Alexander Element as they come through clip 4 and transition down into clip 5. Going along that wall ride, Alexander Element is really putting it to Darius Ostreka's door as they come through clip 6 and start to make that final push for the finish line. There is Element all over the door of Ostreka.
Yeah, doing a really good job in the chase position as well as Alexander Element in that Ferrari. As we go back to the replay, good smooth initiation from Darius Ostreka. Really nice line out front, but Alexander right there with him in that pocket of that BMW. Nice transition across as Darius settling into that angle quickly and then back on throttle. Hangs on to that outside zone all the way around, as well as that last and final one. But again, Element just right there with him in the pocket And there they go across that finish line, and we'll go to the judges. Alexander on the left and Darius Ostraka on the right. Winner will move on to face Tikhon Pileski in the top 8. And there it is. Alexander Element is going to get the win and move on to face Tikhon Pileski.
Good job there from Alexander Element. That'll be a really fun battle to see him and Tikhon go at it. As we have Alan Hines coming up next, along with Kazuki Fukushi. Alan Hines in the lead position in the Pro Drift Academy S15, and Kazuki Fukushi in his beautiful Toyota Celica. At the line and waiting for the lights. The lights go solid, and the run, or the battle starts for these two drivers. Alan Hines with a good getaway. Kazuki right there with him, though, as they initiate in down into clip number 2. Right away, Kazuki's already trying to get on the door of Alan Hines as they come out of clip 4 and transition down to the wall ride of clip 5. Alan Hines putting on a very good lead line here, but Kazuki just sticking right with them, trying everything he can to keep that proximity to Alan Hines as they come through that final inside clip and across the finish line.
Yeah, Kazuki doing a good job in that chase position, but Alan, another near perfect lead run out front. Nice smooth initiation. Good flick from Alan out front. Kazuki reeling him in with that Celica there as they come up to the top of the hill for outside zone 3. Nice transition across. Kazuki sacrificing a bit of line to stay with Alan. Gets caught up just a little bit there, leaving that outside zone, but then jumps back on to the door of Alan Hines as they cross that finish line, and we'll go to the second half of their battle.
We sure will. Back at the start line, Fukushi out front. Alan Hines ready to give chase. The light goes solid, and off they go. The Toyota Celica, Fukushi has a good start, but the S15 at Alan Hines is starting to close that door off of the initiation as they come down through that inside clip and out to the outer zone of clip 4, transitioning now into that wall ride of clip 5. Alan Hines really just kind of keeping that proximity, not pushing too hard just yet, kind of keeping that distance from Fukushi as Fukushi bounces off the wall as he comes out in clip 6 as they make their way to the finish line and cross it door to door.
Yeah, Kazuki giving that last and final wall ride just a little tap there out front. So we go back to the replay. Good initiation from Kazuki, leaving Alan behind just a little bit here. But Alan doing a good job to reel him back in, match that angle, and stick with Kazuki out front. Suzuki buries it deep there in that outside zone. Does start to leave it though towards the latter half, and then there's the little bit of a tap there in the wall, really going too deep in that outside zone. We'll go to these judges here. Alan Hines on the left, Kazuki Fukushi on the right, and quickly the judges unanimous decision. Alan Hines gets the win, and he will move on into that top 8.
Great job there from Alan Hines, but a really good job from Fukushi as well. It was good drive from both drivers. Sadly, Alan Hines is the one who moves on. As we have our next battle here, Mustafa Amine in the lead position in that S15 up against Brandon Patrick in the Ferrari. Initiating in is Mustafa in that S15, holding a great lead line, but already on the door is Brandon Patrick, leaving barely any room for the transition as they come down into clip 5. Mustafa hits the wall and goes into it hard, and Brandon does as well.
Yeah, and another unfortunate one to see coming into that wall run there. We'll go back to this replay here. Mustafa out front, Brandon giving chase. Aggressive initiation from Mustafa once again out front. Good job by both of these drivers as they come up over the hill. Yeah, really interesting there. We want to make sure there wasn't maybe any contact through that transition. But I think it is just going to be Mustafa going into the wall hard there. And we'll go to the second half of their battle.
We sure will, as we have Brandon Patrick at the start line in the lead position with Mustafa in the chase position. No mistakes, this could be Brandon Patrick's battle, but it's still anybody's battle. It's only the second half, so they initiate in. Brandon Patrick with a good getaway with Mustafa just starting to close in that door and get Brandon as they come through that inside clip. Transitioning now down to clip 5 where Mustafa made that mistake in his run, but Brandon gets through it nice and clean. Brandon transitions now into clip 6 with Mustafa just keeping a good proximity, not charging in too hard, and now he starts to get on the wheel in the door. Brandon even manages to pull a little gap right at the end.
Yeah, he sure did in that Ferrari. As we go back to the replay here, Brandon out front this time, Mustafa giving chase. Entering in nicely. Mustafa giving up a little bit of room on initiation, but then reels him in quick. Brandon going a bit wide for the inside clip. Good transition across, picks up throttle, stays off that wall this time, and smooth through the outside zone. Great transition once again, picking up throttle when he needs to, and hanging on to that line. And Mustafa right there with him in tow as well. We'll go to the judges here. Mustafa on the left, Brandon on the right, and it's all going to come down to that accident happening at the wall there, coming into outside zone 4. Left for Mustafa, right for Brandon Patrick. Judges might be going back on the YouTube stream there, backing it up. They can watch it in half speed, quarter speed, 3/4 speed, 2 times speed. Getting all the angles there before making their decision.
All the speed. A long deliberation from those judges as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Watching it back on my end, it did seem like the slight possibility of Brandon catching Mustafa's rear bumper, as there was maybe a little hiccup there. I mean, it's ever so slightly, and I think it's gonna come down to that, whether that sort of happened or not, which would have affected Mustafa's transition going into the wall, or did Mustafa just transition too far on the outside and then end up going into the wall independently by himself? Just, again, super close, and it's good on the judges to take their time, make sure they're making the right call there.
Very long delivery. We're only halfway through the top 16. This will be the halfway point after the decision of this battle. So we want to thank everybody for coming along and watching along, whether you're here with qualifying or you're just here for the top 32 battles. We appreciate your view, your like, your subscribes, and all you wonderful chatters in the comments. Yes, we do keep an eye on all of it. So we do thank
and we
everyone
actually
for being here.
Have a decision there. Chris and Matt going right for Brandon Patrick. Ed choosing Mustafa.
So wow, so Brandon Patrick then getting the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to listen in for these judges and Chris's explanation to the drivers here. And yeah, it's gonna come down to that, and they felt that Mustafa was at fault for it, and Brandon is gonna move on.
So there we go. Brandon Patrick in the Ferrari going up against Alan Hines in the top 6, or in the grade 8, as we move on to the second half of the top 16 bracket. That'll be starting off with Abdul Al-Shetwi and Zach O'Sullivan.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, double listening. Mustafa chimed in and actually said he had some sort of like almost malfunction in his wheel there. It did something weird on the transition and yeah, kind of maybe spazzed a little bit and then ended up just a little bit too wide for the transition. But always fun to see Mustafa out. He's a very strong driver. Coming out swinging here in his first season of competition and has been doing great so far.
Well, I mean, looking at the way the last 2 rounds have been, this is kind of the exact opposite of the last 2 rounds. I mean, the last 2 rounds, the rookies came, and it was normally an even field of half rookies, half veterans, and they normally were the ones that went all the way to the end. And now it's seeming like the veterans kind of like this course a little bit more, and they're starting to pull it together a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely one of my favorite layouts in the series. Just a fantastic layout with a bunch of elevation change. It's super smooth, allows for really good tandems. And everybody watching, yeah, we will release this track to the public right after this round. I have a small update I still need to do to it. One of the pick boxes managed to end up backwards, so I'm going to fix that, and we'll release it after this round.
Well, it seems like the rest of our top 16 field has loaded in, and we're ready to go. Abdul Al-Shetwi out front in that beautiful white S15 up against Zach O'Sullivan in that JZ A80 Supra as they initiate in. Al-Shetwi out front, but Zach right there on the door off of the initiation as they come through that inside clip. Zach is giving them absolutely no breathing room as they transition down into clip 5 for that wall ride. A little bit of a gap there as they came into it, but I'm sure Zach's just leaving that room for the transition as they come through 6. And into the wall goes Al-Shetwi and bounces off course, leaving just enough room for Zach to get by safely.
Yeah, an interesting one there. Almost looked like Al-Shetwi's transition just ended up maybe a little bit late there. It throws the car way to the outside. Here we go, flying through the first turn, sacrificing a little bit of line there up front, a bit on the inside, but Zach right there with him. Good transition across, setting in nicely to outside zone 4. Ooh, really close there. Maybe a bumper tap on the transition once again, or maybe a bit of a lag there as we're quickly sending them again.
We sure are. The second half's already underway with Zach O'Sullivan out front and Al-Shetwi giving chase. Zach O'Sullivan initiates in. Not as much angle from Al-Shetwi in the chase, but he starts to make up for it near that inside clip as they come through clip 4 and transition down to that wall ride at clip 5. Al-Shetwi giving a little bit more room, being a bit more cautious, but then really starting to put it onto the door of Zach as they make that transition into clip 6. Al-Shetwi really going for it, bumping Zach's front end a little bit as they come across the line and finish out their run.
Yeah, really good second half of the battle here with Zach out front. And Al-Shetwi giving chase right on the bumper before they initiate. And there you see the front wash from Al-Shetwi a little bit, but he reels Zach back in, getting hold of that angle, transitions a bit early in that chase position. Zach keeps things going on a really nice lead line here. Good transition across as well. And flying through the course here, back to the outside, and there they go, finishing out the second half of their battle. Al-Shetwi on the left and Zach O'Sullivan on the right. And Zach is going to get the win and move on. Al-Shetwi getting fault for going into that wall, just going super deep there into that last and final outside zone.
I mean, like we were saying, it's the small mistakes, and at the level that these guys have to drive at, the mistakes are just so much more. What would seem like not that big of a mistake is a huge mistake. So it's just what it is. But good job from Abdul Al-Shetwi. You made it up to the top 16, man. As we have our next battle, Valkaris Alkas in the chase position up against Oliver Eppinger in the Toyota Supra. Oliver Eppinger out front, and a good lead so far with Valkaris right up with him as they make that transition down into clip 5 here. Good job around clip 5 from Oliver Eppinger out front, but Vacaris is just putting it to him as they put it on the door, coming through that finish line.
Yeah, good start to this top 16 battle here between Oliver Eppinger and Vacaris Alukas. Vacaris looking strong here in the chase position, but as well as Oliver out front. Really good line, does sacrifice a bit of it. Coming up shallow for outside zone 2, but overall smooth on the angle. And Vacaris right there with him, reels him back in really fast there for this outside zone along the wall. Good transition across, leaving a bit of room. Oliver sacrifices a little bit of that line once again, makes a small angle correction, but Vacaris right there with him as they cross that finish line.
Well, now they're ready for the second half of their battle. The lights are lit and off they go with Vacaris out front and Oliver Eppinger giving chase, initiating in. Oh man, Eppinger's already all over him, maybe even pushing him a little bit wide there for that second outer zone as they come for the transition down to clip 5. A huge hit from Eppinger. Eppinger just going a little too hard. Eppinger's trying to keep it in drift without going into opposite locket, but too late. He hits the wall and straightens out. And that's going to be all she wrote for the battle as Vacaris finishes out the run.
Yeah, Oliver was looking really good up until those points there. As we go back to the replay with Vacaris out front, Oliver chasing him down in that Supra. Good initiation, jumps right onto the door. Vacaris going a little bit wide. As you pointed out, maybe a little tap from Oliver, and there comes that extra tap coming into the outside zone. Vacaris does a good job to hang on to it and not over rotate. And there, Oliver going just a little bit too deep, grabbing the wall, straightens him out, and shuts down the run. We'll go to the judges. Left for Oliver or right for Vacaris, but I believe Vacaris is going to get the win here, and he certainly is. Unanimous decision. He'll move on into the top 8 where he'll face off against Zach O'Sullivan.
Good driving from Vacaris Alukas there, and really sad for Oliver to just hitting that wall and making a couple mistakes there, but there's so many rounds left of the Virtual Drift Championships. We have Alexander Sharuk in that red Ferrari getting chased down by Yarrow Trash in his S15 as they initiate in. Yarrow's already all over the door of that Ferrari right off the initiation as they come down to that inside clip, making room for the transition. Barely any as they transition into clip 5 as Yarrow really starts to reel him in again and get back on the door of Alexander Sharuk. They transition down the hill and back onto the wall once more as they make that final push for the finish line. And right on the door is Yarrow onto Alexander.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go with the replay of the first half of their battle here. Sevruk out front and Yarko right there in that chase position, just up against that Ferrari as they move through this first turn, filling that zone at the top of the hill. Along the bumper is Yarko in chase, and then reels him back in through that outside zone, and once more here into the final one. But again, just super smooth lead out front is Alexander Sevruk.
And here they go for the second half of their battle. Yarrow out front and ready to duke it out, but there is Alexander getting right up onto the door as well. Could we see the second one more time battle of round 3 here, the Virtual Drift Championships, as they transition bumper to bumper into clip 5, and right on the door is Alexander as they transition one last time down this hill to clip 6. And look at the proximity that Alexander is giving to Yarrow. Absolutely none as they cross that line.
Oh my goodness. Here we go with the replay. Tresh out front this time with Sevruk chasing him down, and he certainly does just that from the moment they initiate. Really good lead line out front is Tresh. Sevruk right there with him. They crest the top of that hill, go through the little bump, and a smooth transition. And this time Sevruk right there with him through that transition and settling into this last and final outside zone as well. And And just bang on by both of these drivers here in the second half of that battle. And we'll go to the judges with a little party going on from Tresh in the background. Left for Seabrook or right for Tresh. Close one for the judges to call here. Could we have our first one more time here in the top 16?
Could we? There's only this battle and one battle left, so it'd be cool if we did get another one more time.
Oh, and look at there. Chris chooses Alexander Seabrook, but Ed and Matt choose one more time, so we'll get to see these drivers duke it out once more.
So there it is. The decider is one more time between Alexander Seabrook and Yarrow Tresh. Here they are back to the line. Alexander in that bright red Ferrari. Yarrow in his S15. The lights go solid, and this one more time battle gets underway. Out front is Alexander Seabrook initiating in, but Yarrow pushing him through to that second outer zone. Yarrow going a little too aggressive, had to get out of it just a little bit, leave some room for that transition, but barely any as they come into clip 5. Yarrow's being on the aggression as they transition again down into clip 6, but Yarrow's just all over Alexander. But Alexander's lead run has been really solid through this whole first half of the battle.
Yeah, it certainly has, and all through this top 32 as well as qualifying. Seabrook has just been on one out front in that lead position. Great initiation. And gets a little tap from Tresh. And looking back on it, I actually didn't see much tire smoke from Seabrook out front. Hopefully he didn't pick up throttle too late, which caused the contact. But either way, they kept the run going, stayed on the right line that they needed to. And there they go, door to door across that finish line.
Could it been that Yarrow noticed Alexander was going on the wrong line? He was like, here, let me help you. Gave him a little love tap. As we see Yarrow out front, Alexander giving chase, initiating in is Yarrow. Alexander not as close off that initiation, but also not pushing him into the outer zone as we see them come through clip 4 with some good proximity between the two and a good transition there from Yarrow. And here comes Alexander Seabrook, just keeping a good distance away as they transition into clip number 6. On the door now is Alexander onto Yarrow as they go all the way to the finish line, door to door.
That was insane. Literally door to door, just glued onto Yarrow Tresh out front as we go back to this replay. Great initiation, leaving a little bit of room there in the chase, but jumps right back into the pocket. Is Alexander in that chase position, that big Ferrari, good transition, leaves him enough room and then jumps right back onto the door. You just see both of these drivers pushing extremely hard, trying to get the win here and move on into the top 8. And there, Alexander just pushing him across the finish line, and we'll go to the judges once more between these drivers. Left for Alexander or right for Yarrow Tresh. Both really good leads, both really good chases. And just tit for tat. I think it's going to come down to that contact. Look at there. Alexander Seabrook gets the win, moves on into the top 8, and we've got just one more battle here in the top 16.
One more battle indeed, and we're almost getting close to the end of this event. It's going by so quickly. So make sure that you stick around. Don't go anywhere, or else you'll miss it. As we have in the lead lane, Ko Fonseca in that beautiful S15, and beside him, the S15 of Victor Alves. This is going to be a good battle between these two as they initiate in. Victor Alves already making that push into KO, pushing him around a little bit from that chase position, but it's not enough to upset KO as they transition into clip 5. Little bit of gap there as they come through clip 5, but now Victor's starting to put that pressure back on as they transition down into clip 6. Seems like Victor just can't get that door, but there it is, starting to get it now as they come through the inside clip, and he makes contact again with KO as they come through that finish line.
Yeah, another exciting start. And again, our last and final battle here in the top 16 between these two Brazilian drivers, Fonseca out front, Victor Alves in chase. And as you pointed out, almost pushing him around, just getting settled in there in that chase position. Fonseca out front doing a really nice job, staying smooth, staying on the right line, filling the outside zone. Good transition across as well. There you see Victor reeling him back in, giving him a little tap, and there they go across the finish line for the first half of their top 16 battle.
Well, and now they're back at the line and ready for the second half of this Battle of Brazil. Will it be Victor Alves? Will it be KO Fonseca moving on to go up against Alexander Sharuk in the Great 8? Victor Alves out front, KO giving chase as they initiate in. And good initiation from Victor Alves out front, but KO already starting to apply that pressure. Maybe a little bit of a bumper tap there as they came through that inside clip, transitioning down into clip 5. Now that wonderful wall ride that we've been seeing all day. And we're good through it, but KO just not getting that close to him off of that wall ride as we see them come down into that final inside clip. KO trying to put it on the door to match the angle as they come across the line.
Yeah, really good showing by both of these drivers. This time Victor out front being chased by Fonseca. Entering in nicely is Victor Alves, but as you pointed out, Fonseca right there with him in chase, right in that pocket, giving room for the transition and then jumping right back onto the door quickly into outside zone 4. They come down that hill, another good transition and settling into that last and final outside zone and wall ride, and there they go across the finish line to finish out their battle here in the top 16. Judges will go left for KO Fonseca or right for Victor Alves, who's going to move on into the top 8 where they'll have to face off against Alexander Sharuk in his Ferrari.
Sit here and wait very patiently for these judges' decisions for this wonderful Battle of Brazil.
Ed choosing Victor Alves. Still waiting on Chris and Matt. Who's going to get the win here and move on? One more time from Chris. And one more time from Matt. So they're going to line it back up. And we'll see these drivers face off once more here in the top 16.
That's a great call. We love more drifting, and this event is going by so fast, we could use a couple more of these. Great driving by both these guys, but now they're going to have to do it again. The battle for Brazil continues. Who will take it? Will it be KO Fonseca? Will it be Victor Alves? KO Fonseca in his S15, the purple one, in the lead position. Victor Alves in his S15 in the chase lane. The lights go solid, and this one more time battle is underway, and the last battle of the top 16. Initiating in is KO Fonseca. Little bit behind is Victor Alves, but as they come through that second outer zone, the proximity is there from Alves as they come through clip 4, initiating or transitioning into clip 5 for that wall ride, hanging along that whole wall. Victor Alves putting on some pressure as they transition into clip 6, and now he should get on the door. He's on the wheel, he's on the door. He pushes KO a little bit off track as they cross the line.
Yeah, he sure did. Both drivers again just pushing super hard, but a fantastic lead again out front from Fonseca here as we go back to the replay. Beautiful initiation. Victor closes the gap very quickly here in turn 1, flying up the hill, filling that next outside zone, maybe going a little bit too deep as Fonseca dropping a wheel So we see a little bit of grass come up, but the way he set into outside zone 4 was fantastic. Picked up throttle when he needed to, and it continues throughout this run. And there they go across that finish line. And it looks like they're sending them a little bit too early there, and there they go.
Yeah, they sent them a little too quickly for you, but that's okay. Not much has happened. We just missed the first 3 clips, but that's okay because Victor Alves has just been out front with KO applying tons of pressure to Victor Alves. They transition into clip 5, and now KO's really trying to get on there. They were grazing the bumpers along the wall as they came across clip 5, now into 6. KO's going to put it right on the door of Victor Alves and hold it there the whole way through to the finish line.
Yeah, he sure did, and we'll go back to the replay as we have to watch a little bit of the last replay, I think, before we get it. Yep, and there they go, entering in. This time again, Victor out front and being chased down by Kale Fonseca. Really deep into outside zone 3 at the top of the hill, settles in nicely to outside zone 4. But again, Fonseca right there with him. Smooth transition once more, fills that zone. And Kale Fonseca, again, just can't be shaken off there. And we'll go back to the judges one more time between these drivers. Fonseca on the left and Victor Alves on the right. Again, just waiting on these judges here. And there they go. We're going to see them again. So Chris and Ed this time choose one more time. Matt chooses Kale Fonseca. But they're going to line it up once more here in the top 16.
You know, I was saying to the chat, but I was muted apparently. I forgot to unmute myself. Rookie move. We're professionals here. You know, people were cheering. They were like, "Oh, Victor, oh, KO." Some were even saying one more time, and here it is. It's another one more time.
Yeah, it certainly is. And again, here in the top 16 between these drivers as well.
We're not even in the finals yet. This is insane. This battle from Brazil, you know, it's almost like their own little championship for themselves. They're like, who's going to take it today? Who's going to be the better of the two? As we see KO Fonseca back out front, Victor Alves giving chase. KO Fonseca initiating in, Victor Alves right there with them as we see them come down into outer zone 2. The proximity is really good there from Victor, leaving just enough room here for this transition as they transition bumper to bumper into clip 5. This wonderful wall ride, putting it almost on the door after the wall ride as they come down into clip 6. Victor Alves really just doing what he has to do, putting the car in the right spots, and now getting up near the door right before the finish. And now they come back around.
And settling back in to this outside zone. Very nice along the outside wall as well. And finishing out the very first half of their battle here for the second time.
Alrighty, and here they go for the second half of this battle. Initiating in is Victor Alves, kind of gapping KO off the start, though. KO sleeping a little bit at the line as they come through that inside clip. KO's regained that proximity that he lost for the first 2 clipping points. Coming into clip 5 now, Victor is on the throttle and going fast, but right beside him is KO Fonseca, trying to keep that proximity, trying to keep it on the door, which he is, and almost pushing him through that finish line.
Yeah, holy moly, another tough call for these judges, I think, as we go back to the replay. Victor out front, but getting off to a really good start this time. But Kale reels him in quickly by the time they get up to that first inside clip. and then to the next outside zone. Nice transition by Victor out front. Mikhail right there with him. Keeps things going. Good transition to finish out this course along that final outside wall. And there they go across the finish line. We'll go to the judges once more. Left for Kale Fonseca or right for Victor Alves? And there it is. Victor Alves this time gets the win unanimously and moves on to face Alexander Sherbrooke.
Good job there from Victor Alves. Now we've completed the top 16 and move on into the grade 8. And that's going to be kicked off by T-Con Pleski and Alexander Element once they all get into the server here, which won't take very long at all. But I just got to say that battle, that was so insane. And I think it came down to just KO kind of sleeping at the line there, not having that proximity right off the hop.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really got left behind there and created a big gap as they entered in to that course, and then just, you know, sort of gave the advantage to Victor for having that big gap there through that first turn, and KO having to sacrifice some of that line and angle to reel Victor in. So again, that is going to do it for top 16. Just waiting on the next group of drivers to load in, our top 8. So all the drivers will be loading in as Alan does a few donuts around the staff cars back there.
Don't hit any of them, Alan. He's doing a good job. I'll give him that.
Yeah, my wheel hasn't moved yet, so that's good. As Chris yells at Alan in Discord.
Just wait for a couple more. Not too many people left to join in. So again, as we get into the grade 8 and start to kind of get to the tail end of this round of the Virtual Drift Championship, we just want to thank again everybody for coming out, hanging out with us throughout all of top 32 here as far as we've made it, being there for qualifying, you know, hitting that subscribe button, hitting the like, commenting away. You know, every little thing does matter and help, and we do watch it all, and we do thank every last one of you for always being here for every round. It's always a pleasure, and we can do it without you guys. We appreciate you all. If you haven't already, we are on Facebook and Instagram as well. Don't think we have any other social media platforms.
And getting really close to that 10K mark on Instagram, and yeah, I'm excited to hit that milestone on Instagram. So big thanks to all of you, as well as the drivers have been just sharing a ton of content this season and keeping things going.
Yeah, and you know, and again, another thanks out to our sponsors. You know, we're powered by Next Level Racing and sponsored by Tire Stacks and Grip Royal. So big shout out to all of them too for helping us out this season and last season for Grip Royal. And you know, the prizes they're giving away this year are just so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Big prizes. If you haven't seen from Next Level Racing, it will be first place. We'll get that FGT Elite, something new from Next Level Racing. Second place, we'll get a GT Track. Honestly, I'd say really the best rig you can get that isn't intrusion bars. Just a fantastic rig, has a ton of custom ability. And then the FGT Track, just a regular FGT Track, something I use here at home currently, and it works perfect for my T300 from Thrustmaster. Just seating position is good, and it's solid. Doesn't, you know, not much flex at all from that rig, but it looks like we're ready for top 8.
We sure are. So the starting off of the top 8, T-Con Pleski in the lead position, giving chase to Alexander Element in that Ferrari. T-Con initiates in, but Element already kind of getting up onto the door of Element. of Tikon Pileski as they come through out clip 4 and now transitioning down to the wall ride of clip 5. Alexander Element is applying lots of pressure to Tikon here, but Tikon doesn't break under pressure. He is a robot that just drives these tracks insanely well as he comes through that final inside clip, and Alexander finishes on the door of Tikon.
Yeah, he sure did. A really good start to this battle here with Tikon out front. Element giving chase in his Ferrari. And a smooth initiation from Tikon on throttle throughout this whole entire first turn. Flying up the hill. But Element right there with him. Nice and smooth transition. Picking up throttle when he needs to out front. But again, Element just on one in that chase position right there with Tikon Pileski. And there they go around that last and final inside clip and finishing out for their first half of this top 8 battle.
Yeah, lots of aggression there from Alexander, so that's really good to see, and he's going to need that against Tikon because now he has to put on the best lead line he can as he is in the lead position. Right behind him, chasing him down, is this man, Tikon Pileski. Let's see how they do on the second half of this battle as they head down the straightaway and initiate in. Initiating in on the door is Pileski to Alexander Shavrook as they come through those first 3 clips and transition now into the wall ride of clip 5. Alexander doing a great job out front here, but Pileski's just taking every advantage of that and just keeping that perfect proximity before putting it on the door through that inside clip and getting past the line.
Yeah, I think another tough one for the judges to call here as we go back to the replay. Alexander out front in the Ferrari. Tikon Pileski giving chase and entering in, sacrificing just a little bit of line as Tikon in that chase position and then falls into the pocket of Alexander Element in that big Ferrari. Good transition across, jumps back onto the door as Tikon following him through that outside zone 4 and down the hill, setting in nicely to the last and final outside zone, something Element has been doing all day long and doing it clean. And there they go across that finish line, and we'll go to the judges here in the top 8. Tikon Pileski on the left and Alexander Element on the right.
This has got to be another. I think these last battles are going to be just so hard for the judges to decide.
Yeah, absolutely. All of them are doing exactly what the judges are asking for in these battles, both lead and chase, with just minor mistakes here and there, making it really tough for these judges. And we may even just see them one more time.
It's a definite option, as one more time seemed to happen.
And it was close. Chris and Ed choose Tikon Pileski, and a one more time from Matt. But Tikon Pileski with Chris and Ed is going to get the win and move on into that Final Four.
There we go. Pileski moving into the Final Four. Who will go to face him? Will it be Alan Hines or will it be Brandon Patrick? Alan Hines in the Pro Drift Academy S15 in that lead position. Brandon Patrick in the Ferrari in the chase lane. We wait for that light to ignite and start the next battle of the Grade 8. And here we go. The lights go solid and the run begins. Alan out front, Brandon Patrick giving chase. Alan initiates in, Brandon initiates right with him, giving a good proximity through the first 2, starting to close that door as they come down into clip 4, transitioning now down to clip 5. Brandon Patrick trying to make that dive and that push to keep that really close proximity to Alan Hines. Alan Hines doing an amazing lead run here, putting the car exactly where it needs to go, but Brandon is just leaving it on the door there as they came through that inside clip and crossed that finish line.
Yeah, and here we go with that replay. Alan out front being chased down by Brandon Patrick here, entering in nicely. Brandon reeling him in very quick, sticking with him through this turn 1 and up the hill. Very nice transition from both of these drivers. Alan setting in very deep into this outside zone. Brandon right there with him in the big Ferrari. Good transition across that bumper in that chase position. And as you pointed out, almost pushing Alan across that finish line.
It was close, but now they're back at the line, ready to duke it out for the second half of their battle. Brandon Patrick out front, Alan Hines giving chase. And here they go down that straightaway and initiating in Brandon Patrick, but already Alan Hines is starting to put on that proximity as they come down into that inside clip. Look at how close Alan Hines is to Brandon Patrick as they transition into clip 5. Oh, a little bit of a wash there from the lead position, but it doesn't upset the chase driver as he uses it to get closer to Brandon as they come through that final outer zone. On the door is Alan Hines to Brandon Patrick as they cross that finish line.
Oh my goodness. The way Alan set into outside zone 4 in this chase position was insane. As we go back to the replay, Brandon out front in that Ferrari, smooth initiation, good line. Alan right there with him in the pocket as they come up over the hill. Getting to that outside maybe a little bit too early as Brandon, but there you see Alan, he does leave the wall just a little bit there, but sets in to the same angle as Brandon, keeps things going, makes another smooth transition across, really going after it here in this battle. And we'll go to these judges here. Alan on the left, Brandon on the right. Winner will move on to face Tikhon Pileski in the final 4. And look at there, Alan Hines gets the win, moves on, and we've got a crazy battle coming up in the top 8 later.
Yeah, that final 4, I mean, Tikhon and Alan, whew, that's going to be crazy. As we have our next battle, though, of the Grade 8, Zach O'Sullivan and Vacaris Alakas. Zach O'Sullivan in the Supra, Vacaris in his BMW. The lights go solid, and off they go. Down the straightaway initiates is Zach out front, but Vacaris is right there on him as they come through that first inside clip and the 2 outer zones, hitting clip 4 good. Bumper to bumper transition as they come through to that wall ride. Zach O'Sullivan doing a great job in the lead position, but Vacaris just putting the car exactly where it needs to go as he's getting right up onto the door of Zach O'Sullivan as they finish out that run.
Yeah, really good showing from both of these drivers. As we go to the replay, Zach out front, just on a tear with this lead run here. Smooth initiation on throttle, filling that next outside zone and grabbing this next inside clip. But Vacaris right there in that chase position. Good smooth transition, matches that angle in that chase position is Vacaris. Falling back just a little bit, but jumps back onto the bumper there as they make that last and final transition. And then a very smooth finish.
All right, and off we go for the second half of this battle. Vacaris out front with now Zach O'Sullivan giving chase. They initiate in. Zach is already putting on that pressure by keeping a way closer proximity off the initiation as they come through now to clip 4 and transition. Ooh, bumper to bumper into clip 5 for the wall ride. Zach is applying all sorts of pressure here, but Vacaris doing a good job in the lead. Hits that wall a little bit, hits the wall again, and that leaves the door open for Zach O'Sullivan to stick it there all the way to the finish.
Yeah, he certainly did. As we go back to the replay once more here, Vacaris out front, Zach giving chase. Smooth initiation, but Zach reels him in quickly. He is sacrificing a bit of line in that chase position, then falls back to the pocket, matching that angle nicely. Really good transition from Zach as well. Does end up a little bit on the inside, but again, matching that angle nicely. Given the room, and there you see Vacaris make those tiny mistakes out front, and that might just make or break this battle for him. We'll go to the judges here. Zach on the left, Vacaris on the right. Winner will go on into that final 4. And there they go. Unanimous decision from all 3 judges. Zach O'Sullivan gets the win. He'll move on to face the winner of our last and final top 8 battle coming right up.
It sure is. We see already Alexander Shavruk pulling up to the line, and right behind him is Victor Alves. Victor doing a very good job this round, and Alexander has just been on fire in that Ferrari. Now at the line, they are ready to go and waiting for those lights to ignite, as this is our final battle of the grade 8 before we start getting into what becomes the latter half of this event. As we see the lights go solid, Alexander Sharuk out front, Victor Alves giving chase. Down the straight they come and initiating in. Alexander Sharuk, good initiation, but Victor Alves trying to apply that pressure early. Victor Alves goes a little too wide though, has to make up for it as Alexander Sharuk just keeps the car where it needs to be as they come into clip 5 here now for that wall ride. Victor Alves made up for that mistake from the beginning as they come down into clip 6 and make their way to the final inside clip before pushing out to the finish line, and a good proximity to finish things out from Victor Alves.
Yeah, absolutely. Victor bringing the fight to Alexander. And here we go with the replay. Alexander out front. Very good initiation. Victor right there with him in chase there. Does fall back just a little bit, maybe even dropping a tire back there, but reels him in quickly right on the bumper through that transition and sticks with him through outside zone 4 as they come down this hill. Very good transition once more. Just a solid lead line out front is Alexander in this Ferrari. All these Ferraris today just dialed in to this course.
Yeah, it seems like the Ferraris have a good lowdown on their setups here. But now we have the second half of this battle. Victor Alves out front in his S15 getting chased down by the Ferrari of Victor Alves, or of Alexander Sharuk. There can't be two of the same person. Come on now. As we have Alexander Sharuk waiting for those lights to go solid, and Victor Alves gets a good start. Lighting up the tires, though, is Alexander Sharuk as Victor Alves initiates in. And Alexander trying to get it up on that door, pushing Victor Alves a little bit there into that inside clip, now leaving just enough room for the transition as they come into this first wall ride of clip 5. Good proximity there from Alexander Sharuk onto Victor Alves, but Victor Alves is doing a very good lead run here as they go door to door across that finish line.
Yeah, another really solid lead run out front, this time from Victor Alves. And as you pointed out, Alexander maybe getting caught sleeping a little bit, burns the tires down, and he ends up having to sacrifice a lot of that angle to reel Victor Alves in that chase position. Very smooth transition by both of these drivers. Jumping back onto the door and into the pocket of Victor Alves is Alexander Sharuk in that chase position. Another really good transition. Hanging on to that outside line. And there they go across that finish line, and we'll go to the judges. Alexander on the left, Victor on the right. Close battle between these two, as both had just tiny mistakes in their chase positions, all in that first turn as well. You had Victor that washed out a bit in his chase position, and then Alexander just giving up a bunch of room in the chase position, having to sacrifice the angle to reel Victor back in.
Yeah, it's going to be a very close battle between these two and what they decide to do here. The chat saying one more time between the two.
And there it is. We're going to get a one more time. The chat is going to get what they want. We're going to line them back up. Chris and Ed choose one more time. Matt chooses Victor Alves. But either way, they're going to line them back up.
We get to see these two duke it out. Maybe one too many mistakes or not enough mistakes to decide an even winner between the two. But man, this round has really brought out some great driving of people as we're down to our final battle of the grade 8. And now on to its one more time. Alexander Sharuk in the Ferrari out front. Victor Alves in the S15, ready to duke it out one more time. The lights go solid, and this one more time battle gets underway. A good getaway from both drivers as they initiate in. Alexander Sharuk on a good line so far. Victor Alves trying to stick with him and put that proximity, but can't really get there through the first 4 clipping points as they transition into clip 5 for that wall ride. And now Victor has started to get that proximity back as they come through this final inside clip and push through to the finish.
Yeah, scrappy first half of this one more time as we go back to the replay with Alexander out front. Victor giving chase. Alexander, again, that kind of a slow start there. Victor struggling a bit in that chase position. You see Alexander does sacrifice quite a bit of angle out front in that first turn between clip 1 and 2. Victor reels him back in for outside zone 4. And yeah, maybe even a little bit of contact there in that transition into the last and final outside zone. Victor getting a little bit caught up there in that chase. And we'll go to the second half of their one more time battle.
They're already at the line and ready to go. The lights have ignited and solid they go. Victor Alves out front. Alexander Shabrook giving chase. Lighting up the tires on that Ferrari off the start line. Victor Alves initiates in. And Alexander tries to get as close in the proximity as he can. Just falling a little bit back though as they transition into clip 5. Clip 5 for the wall ride, and there's the aggression there from Alexander Shabrook, leaving enough room for this transition into clip 6. He's going to put it on the door now of Victor Alves, almost pushing him towards that finish line as they finish out their one more time battle.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go with the replay here. Victor out front and doing a really good job out front as well. Smooth transition. Leaving a little bit of room on that outside zone. You see Alexander a little bit on the outside there, but does a good job with the transition into 4. Crazy how Victor didn't grab the wall there, and you see Shabrook in the chase position get caught up a little bit, leaving outside zone 4, and is in the middle of the track really early, but does a good job to keep things going, and then back onto the door of Victor in that lead. And here we go with the judge's decision here. Alexander on the left for Victor on the right, and there it is, unanimous decision. Alexander Shabrook does get the win and moves on into that final 4 where he'll face off against Zach O'Sullivan. But overall, good fight from Victor Alves there.
Yeah, very good fight from Victor. I mean, I feel like it's going to come down just to the difference in aggression between the runs. Alexander was always pushing, always trying to get that door, where Victor took like a little bit of a less of an aggressive thing, but still kept a very good line and angle. So it is what it is, but a good job for both of them. And now we're on to the final 4 battle. And man, to some, this might feel like the final battle. In the lead position, Tikon Pileski in his S14. In the chase position, Alan Hines in that Pro Drift Academy S15. The lights go solid and off they go. Tikon out front, Alan giving chase, initiating in. Here they come, and Alan going way too wide off the start. Trying to get it back together now as they come through clip 4. Just washing out and couldn't keep the grip as they come into clip 5 now. And Alan starts to reapply that pressure that he is known for as they transition into clip 6. Alan has now put it on the door of Tikon, and they are going to finish this out door to door.
Wow, just super unexpected there for the first half of this battle to see Alan washed out like that in that chase position. We'll go back to the replay. Tikon entering in all the way on throttle as Alan just washes out in that chase position, maybe closing the gap, maybe a little bit too fast, and then makes the correction and ends up wide. Tikon keeps it going on a really nice lead run, and Alan does a fantastic job to reel him back in after making the big mistake in that chase position through turn 1. And we'll go back live, and they'll duke it out for the second half of their battle.
They sure will. Both these men are champions, but only one can make it to the finals. And only one of them can do that. Is it going to be Alan Hines? Is it going to be Tikon Pileski? Alan Hines out front, Tikon Pileski giving chase. Tikon's already up on the door of Alan Hines. Almost what Alan Hines tried to do in his chase run, but ended up washing out as we have Alan Hines doing a great job here. But the aggression from Tikon. Tikon is on a mission. He is here to win as they transition into this final outer zone. Tikon is already on the door, on the wheel, as he go through that final inside clip and finish out door to door.
Oh my word. And that Tikon didn't really even need to push that hard, but he did anyway, trying to make a statement here in the top four. Alan enters in, and then Tikon reels him in so fast and stays with him through this turn one, up over the crest there. Smooth transition by both. Tikon jumping onto the door quickly in outside zone 4 as they come down that hill. Beautiful transition to finish things out here along that last and final outside wall. And again, Tikon right there with him as they cross that finish line, just making a statement here in top 4. Tikon on the left, Alan on the right. Winner will move on into the finals, and there it is, unanimous from the judges there. Tikon Pileski will move on into the finals. Well deserved there in that crazy battle, and just exceptional chase run from Tikon.
You know, not the last we're going to see of Alan Hines. He does still have a third place matchup to do. So he will move over to there as Tikon moves into the finals. But now to see who will be going up against Tikon Pileski. Will it be this man, Alexander Shavrook, in the red Ferrari? Or will it be Zach O'Sullivan in his JZ880 Supra? The lights light up and they go solid. Off they go. The Ferrari gets off to a good start with the power of Zach's Supra. They initiate in, and already Zach's on that door, keeping that aggression, keeping that proximity on the door already by the inside clip. Leave enough room for the transition, boys, as they come into clip 5. Almost door to door still is Zach O'Sullivan. He is just putting on all of the aggression as Alexander Shavrook is just doing the best he can in that lead lane to do that close to 100-point run. But look at that. Zach not giving him any breathing room.
Not at all throughout that entire run here as we go to the replay. Alexander out front. Zach in that chase position, almost giving him a tap before they initiate, but just right on the door through that first turn. Great transition, and then jumps right back onto the door, even with more angle in the chase position in that Supra. They keep things going through that outside zone. Last and final one along the wall. Again, Shavrook doing a fantastic job out front, but just can't shake Zach O'Sullivan off in that Supra. And there they go, flying through turn 1 here. Coming up to the top of the hill, filling that next outside zone, maybe even dropping a tire there so deep along that outside zone. Settling in nicely to outside zone 4 as they come down that hill. As well, the last and final outside zone, but look at there, the Ferrari right there in the pocket and almost pushing Zach across that finish line.
I apologize, my mic was muted.
It is, it's fine. Here we go with the replay. Zach, again, out front. Initiating in, Alexander reeling him in quickly. Very close together here as they come through that outside zone at the top of the hill. Flying down the hill this time for outside 4. Great transition to finish things out for the last and final outside zone and around that inner clip. And another really close battle between these drivers. And here we go to the judges' decision. Alexander on the left, Zach on the right. Or could we see him once again?
I mean, that was such an insane battle. The aggression from Zach, in my opinion, was the craziest thing I've seen all day.
Absolutely. He certainly was on one. Alexander was an exceptional lead as well, just opening the door for Zach to be there throughout that entire run. But Alexander did the same, and there it is. Matt actually chooses Zach O'Sullivan, but Chris and Ed choose one more time. So these drivers are going to line up once again.
It is going crazy. Let's hear who you guys want to win. Will it be Shavrook? Will it be Zach O'Sullivan? Who will go on to see Tikon Pileski in the finals? And who will go see Alan Hines in the bronze matchup, the third place matchup? As we have Alexander Shavrook back in the lead lane. Zach O'Sullivan ready to chase him down one more time. Can Zach bring that same level of aggression twice in a row as the light goes solid and off they go. Good getaway from both drivers, initiating in. Here we go. Zach right on the door, off of the initiation, coming into the second outer zone, through the inside clip and into the next outer, transitioning now into the wall ride of clip 5. Look at this. Alexander putting the car exactly where it needs to go, but Zach is not giving up absolutely any breathing room. If there's a door, Zach wants it, and here they come through to the finish.
Yeah, Zach really going after it here this time in the one more time between these two. Alexander out front, Zach giving chase and jumps right onto the door as soon as they initiate. Does sacrifice quite a bit of angle, but slowly rotates into it, matches that angle nicely as they come around that inside clip and the top of the hill. Great transition, and once again jumps onto the door of Alexander Shavrook out front. And then here you see Zach almost over rotate there, but keeps it going in that Supra. Of course, on just a little bit of an inside line there for that last and final outside zone, but nonetheless showing a ton of aggression there.
Well, here we go for the second half of this one more time battle. Who's going to take it? Will it be Zach O'Sullivan? Will it be Alexander Shavrook? Zach has already shown that major amount of aggression. Let's see if Alexander can answer for it as they come through that second outer zone. There is Alexander on the door of Zach O'Sullivan as they come through clip 4 and transition down to the wall ride of clip 5. Already over the door again is Alexander Shavrook, transitioning into clip 6. Alexander almost didn't leave enough room for the transition, but he's on the door of Zach, pushing him through across the line.
Oh, man. Here we go with the replay again. Zach out front. Alexander again jumping right onto the door as soon as they initiate here and matching the angle nicely. Zach on a really good lead line out front as they come around that inside clip. Much better this time at the top of the hill. Smooth transition, but again, Alexander right there with him. And I think leaving this zone and coming into the next, Alexander does a little bit better of a job here in that chase position and might be the difference between these, I mean, just absolutely near perfect runs here. We'll go to the judges. Alexander on the left, Zach on the right. Who is going to get the win and move on into the finals to face Tikhon Pileski?
Wow.
Just
The level
chill out,
of
guys.
aggression. Yeah. The level of aggression, that was insane. That was no room for error. That was either you tap a brake and you go into a wall, or you knock your opponent off. Like it insane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both drivers just pushing ridiculously hard there in their chase positions, and then near perfect lead runs out front. Oh, and they're going to line up again. Chris actually chooses Zach. And one more time from Ed and Matt this time.
We're not even at the finals yet. Holy man. One more time. This is the second time we've gone to 2 one more time battles today. Victor Alves and KO Fonseca, and now Alexander Shavrook and Zach O'Sullivan lined up and ready to go again. Alexander once again in his Ferrari in the lead lane. Zach O'Sullivan in that beautiful JZA80 Supra in the chase position, ready to go. The lights turn on. They go solid. A little bit of a jump there from Alexander, and they are going to call a restart.
Yeah, they certainly are. Maybe nerves coming into play here.
Ooh. So those who don't know about the light, it will flash 3 times, then goes solid. The lead driver is allowed to leave when that light goes solid. The chase driver can leave at any point before that time. Here we go. Clean restart this time. No jumping of the light. Initiating in are both drivers. Zach already getting up on the door of Alexander Shavrook and putting on mad aggression as they come through that inside clip, leaving a little bit more room this time for the transition into the wall ride of clip 5. Getting right up in there though. Little bit of a gap established there from Zach, but he makes up for it on the transition into clip 6. Puts it back onto the door of Alexander Shavrook and pushes him across the line.
Yeah, just insane between these two. as we go back to another replay. This time Alex out front, Zach giving chase, jumps onto the door once more, but this time matches angle very nicely. Is Zach in that chase position as they move through this course here. Sturup setting in nicely to outside zone 4, but Zach right there with him once again. Zach does fall back just a little bit here, but then jumps right up under the bumper of Alexander Sturup for that last and final transition, and there they go across that finish line.
And here they are back at the line for their second one more time battle. Zach O'Sullivan out front, Alexander Sturup ready to give chase. The light goes solid. Here we go. Who's moving into the finals? Will it be Zach? Will it be Alex? As they come through all the first two outside zones, the aggression from Alexander Sturup is there. He's getting the door as they transition bumper to bumper into clip 5 for that wall ride. Zach is doing a good job on the lead run here, but behind him is Alexander Sturup, who is putting it on the door of Zach O'Sullivan and keeping it there all the way through to the finish line.
Yeah, he certainly did, but it does look like Alexander gave Zach just a little tap in that last and final transition coming into the last outside zone. They enter in together here very nicely. Door to door as they come up over this hill. Alexander almost pushing Zach along. Great transition from both of them here as they come on down this hill. And then this last and final transition there, slowing Zach up, but does a fantastic job to keep things going. And there they go across that finish line. We'll go to the judges again. Left for Alexander Sturup or right for Zach O'Sullivan. Chat going ham for Zach, and there it is. Zach O'Sullivan gets the win. He'll move on into the finals where he'll face off against Tikon Pileski, and I wonder if he even has enough energy to do so.
Wow. GG's to both the drivers. That's wow. Yeah, now he has to go up against Tikon, but first we have our third place matchup. So who's going to take home third place? Is it going to be Alexander Sturup coming off of those crazy intense battles? Will he have enough gas left in the tank to outbeat Alan Hines in the Pro Drift Academy S15? Here we go. Third place battle underway as they come down and initiate in. Right away, Alan is getting up onto the door. Sturup not as angled up as he normally is coming in through that second outer zone, but now they come through clip 4 and transition down for the wall run in clip 5. Alan Hines putting it on the door of Alexander Sturup. It is very hard to do multiple runs back to back to back, but Alexander is not breaking under the pressure that Alan Hines is putting on him all the way to the finish.
Yeah, just incredible here as we go back to the replay. As you pointed out, Alexander just doing back-to-back near perfect lead runs here. Enters in nicely, flying through turn 1 here, filling that next outside zone. Up to the top of the hill, filling the next one as well. Alan giving up a little bit of room there, giving him maybe even a tap there in outside zone 4 as they come down that hill. And another smooth transition jumps onto the door of Alexander Sturup, and there they go across that finish line for the first half of their third place battle.
Well, here we go for the second half of it. Alan Hines out front, Alexander Sturup giving chase. Alan Hines off to a good start. Alexander right there with him though. Little bit of a gap coming up to outer zone 2, but now on the door of Alan Hines is Alexander Sturup, transitioning over to clip 5 and that wall ride. Alexander Sturup keeping it on the door of Alan Hines, keeping that pressure there and matching the angle of Alan as they come through clip 6. Keeping it on the door through the inside clip, pushing him almost through to the finish line.
Holy smokes. Alexander does it again in the chase position as we go back to this replay here. Alan out front, but Alexander putting on a chase of a lifetime here. Does give up a little bit of room, but reels Alan in quickly. Alan with a very good lead line out front as well. Making that transition along the bumper, jumps onto the door. Almost zero proximity between them as they go through outside zone 4 and down the hill. Great transition to finish things out. Again, Alan, just a really good lead run out front, but Alexander right there with him throughout the entirety of the course. And we'll go to the judges here for the third place battle on who's going to get that last podium finish, Alexander Sturup or Alan Hines.
I'm running out of breath.
This round has been insane. Drivers just pushing exceptionally hard, trying to get that win. And putting on a show for all of us. And there it is. So one more time from Chris. But Ed and Matt choose Alexander Sturup. He will get the win and a podium finish here for round 3 at Sturup Raceway, finishing 3rd place today. And well-deserved from Sturup there.
Yeah, it's so great to see him on the podium. And what a hard drive he put in. That was absolutely bonkers. But now we're going to see if it can get even more bonkers. We have our final battle. Tikon Pleski and Zach O'Sullivan. Tikon Pleski in that beautiful S14. Zach O'Sullivan in his JZ A80 Supra. The final battle of the Virtual Drift Championship round 3 here at the Sturup Raceway, powered by Next Level and sponsored by Tire Stacks and Grip Royal. Initiating in is Tikon Pleski in the lead. Right beside him, though, is Zach O'Sullivan putting on that pressure into Tikon Pleski, almost pushing Pleski through the inside clip as they transition down to the wall ride of clip 5. There's Zach O'Sullivan applying that pressure once again, leaving a little bit of more room for the transition into clip 6 as he feels out the chase or the lead driver of Tikon Pleski. Tikon Pleski did everything right there, but Zach's aggression was just unreal.
Absolutely, and here we go with that replay. Tikon out front, being chased down by Zach O'Sullivan. Zach jumping onto the door of Tikon Pleski very quickly here in that chase position and sticks with him through turn 1. Transitions along that bumper for outside zone 4 as they come down that hill and almost getting pushed by Zach O'Sullivan in that chase position. Tikon, fantastic wall run to finish things out, and there they go across that finish line for the first half of the final battle.
Well, and here we are, the second half of the final battle. Who will it be? Will it be Zach O'Sullivan? Will it be Tikon Pleski? The lights ignite. Zach in the lead. Tikon giving chase. The lights go solid. Down the straight they come. Initiating in is Zach O'Sullivan, but right beside him is Tikon Pleski. Coming down into that inside clip. Tikon leaving a little bit of room as they transition into clip number 5 for the wall ride. Going into the wall just a little bit with Zach, but then so did Tikon as they transition into clip 6. But a little bit of a gap there coming into clip 6. Tikon had to regain the proximity and puts it back on the door before the finish line.
Oh my goodness. I can hardly contain myself through these battles. And here we go with the replay. Zach O'Sullivan out front, and this initiation from Tikon just right there with Zach. Sticks with him through turn 1, follows him up the hill, fills that next outside zone. Great transition for this last and final outside zone. Given the wall just a tiny tap out front is Zach. And then giving up a bit of room is Tikon in the chase position, but then reels him in quickly before leaving that last and final outside zone. And we may just go to the judges one last final time here. Tikon on the left, Zach O'Sullivan on the right. Who's going to get the win here at round 3 Sturup Raceway? Chris goes left, Ed goes left, and Matt goes left as well. Unanimous decision. Tikon Pleski. Great showing by both of these drivers. Just well-deserved podium finishes. And again, just insane showing.
Unreal between these guys. That's going to be Zach's second podium of the season. He is going to be so excited over it. But not to take away from T-Con, the winner of round 3 of the Virtual Drift Championships here at Sturup Raceway. What an absolute hard charge from T-Con.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that initiation that he had behind Zach was just out of this world and insane. Just a crazy amount of aggression there, and I think it paid off big time. Again, fantastic showing by all of these drivers. We thank everybody for tuning in today. Just again, we hope you all enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. The level of competition today was just insane. Here's the full bracket and the full breakdown there. T-Con Pileski taking home first place today here at Sturup Raceway. Zach O'Sullivan getting second. And Alexander Shavrook taking home third. Another very well-deserved finish for Alexander Shavrook, just coming out swinging today and stayed on it. Just near perfect lead runs all day long.
It was a wild day. Everything from qualifying right down to all the wonderful battles and this track. I mean, it just looks so great, and obviously the drivers had a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure how they didn't with with how this event was. Maybe a bit of stress, but just overall a great performance by all of these drivers. Qualifying was exceptionally high as well, just making it tougher and tougher for these drivers to make it into the top 32. And it's changing every single week. I was hoping to see these drivers maybe go for a traditional three-man. Yeah, but I guess Zach is just going to go by himself. We'll watch him as we close out the live stream for today. Again, thank you everybody that tuned in today, and huge thanks to our sponsors, now powered by Next Level Racing, TireStacks.com, and Grip Royal for joining us for another season. And there goes Zach across that finish line one last time. Again, finishing second today, and that's his second podium of the season. So again, go ahead, Tanner.
Thanks. If you guys really enjoyed what you liked and what you saw here today, don't forget, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time we do go live. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram as well. And we also have a Discord server that normally pops up throughout chat there every once so often. So make sure, if you want to get more info about this and join our Discord and maybe learn how to get involved with what we do here at the Virtual Drift Championship. And all right, Zach just flew off in the background. Not sure how that happened. And also, we thank everybody for their wonderful support. And I mean, our next round is February 26th.
Yeah, well, yes, actually, yeah, February 26th. So almost a full month in between these two rounds here. And again, speaking about the Discord, we are going to drop this track tonight. Again, I have to make a small fix. One of the pit boxes ended up backwards for whatever reason. I'll fix it quickly, get the track uploaded, and put it on our public server for everybody to enjoy. The new update is fantastic. The real track got repaved not too long ago, so I felt it was only right to redo a bunch of textures. All the shaders have been redone. The walls have been rebuilt. Some of the guardrails pushed off the edge of track a little bit. Just really making this track fantastic. One of my favorite layouts in our series. So again, definitely be patient with the fix that I've got to do. It should only take a few minutes, but definitely join our Discord if you want to get that tonight. We'll release it on our socials tomorrow. And hopefully we'll see some of you on the public server. So again, thank you all for tuning in. We'll close out this stream, and we'll see you all in just under a month.